you what the games are today in this World T20 that is enthralling us all. First of all, the game coming up in the shorter time is Afghanistan against Namibia. That'll be at 3 o'clock from Abu Dhabi, live on air here, of course, on PTV Sports. The second game of the day this evening out in the course of the day. So, an important game, Sana, a mighty, mighty important game when you put it into that context.
Of course, and I guess huge pressure on both teams. Kane Williamson, one of the best captains in this format also, and even in the longer limited overs format. And then Virat Kohli, so much pressure on him, his last World Cup as a captain. So I think it's a lot is at stake for this, for both these individuals and both these teams in this match.
Okay, before we talk about the individuals, before we talk about the key players, quick look at the head-to-head. Let's get rid of the head-to-head quickly and just show you what's going on between these two teams. Obviously, India's first game in the tournament, they were roundly beaten, soundly beaten by Pakistan by 10 wickets. So they had what's known as a rather big shock.
They've got all that they need in the bowling department, all that they need in the batting department, and a very good captain at the top.
Okay, talking of captains, why don't you start the discussion on Virat Kohli, who has the pressure of having lost that first game to Pakistan, has the pressure, as you say, of playing his last World T20, and having announced the fact that he's not going to captain the side after this in T20s only, then obviously he would love, and they would love him to go out on a winning note, but he's got a bit of work to do.
और राशिद भी सिर्फ एक चीज़ ऐड करूँगी कि विराट कोहली ही वो वाहिद कैप्टन है जो आईसीसी टूर्नामेंट्स में पाकिस्तान से हारे हैं, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी का फाइनल भी, और तो कितना प्रेशर आप समझते हैं?
कल रात का जो मैच हुआ है इंग्लैंड और ऑस्ट्रेलिया का, वो टॉस बहुत मैटर कर रहा है इस इवेंट में, स्पेशली इन दुबई बहुत ज़्यादा. तो अभी कल हमने अपना फेवरेट चेंज करके हम इंग्लैंड को हॉट फेवरेट कर दिया, लेकिन इंग्लैंड पाकिस्तान दो ऐसी टीमें तीनों दफ़ा चेस किया है. अभी टूर्नामेंट स्टार्ट हुआ, मिडिल में है, लेकिन अभी 2-3 टॉस के ऊपर अगर मैच फैसले और हो गए ना तो होगा यही कि हम करेंगे, क्योंकि ये वाहिद टूर्नामेंट लग रहा है पीएसएल की तरह कि सेकंड बैटिंग ज़्यादा डोमिनेट कर रही है. तो आज के मैच में भी देखें, फेवरेट नो डाउट इंडिया है, लेकिन टॉस अगर हार गए तो न्यूजीलैंड 80% मैच जीत सकने की सलाहियत रखती है. इसी तरह हम टूर्नामेंट में आगे जाते जाएंगे, यही सूरत हाल रही तो फिर प्रिडिक्ट करना हमारे लिए भी आसान हो गया. टॉस जीतो, मैच जीतो. अफगानिस्तान ने थोड़ी सी ब्लंडर की अपनी स्ट्रेंथ के ऊपर, उन्होंने टॉस जीत के खुद बैटिंग की. अदरवाइज यहाँ पे मोस्टली जितना भी क्रंच वाला मैच हो, पाकिस्तान इंडिया का आपने मैच देख लिया, इससे बड़ा मैच हुआ नहीं पूरे साल में. उसके बाद सेकंड जो बड़ा मैच था लास्ट नाइट था इंग्लैंड एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया, तो टोटली टॉस के ऊपर हो रहा है. ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए इतने बड़े इवेंट में.
बिल्कुल, इस पे बिल्कुल मैं एग्री करती हूँ. और शार्दुल ठाकुर बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त फॉर्म में इंडिया की तरफ से नज़र आए हैं, पर पिछला मैच बहुत लोगों को सरप्राइज़ हुआ, वो नहीं खेले. आपको लगता है वो एक चेंज इंडिया इस्तीफ़ा करेगा इस मैच के लिए?
मे बी जिस तरह उसकी फॉर्म लगी है इंग्लैंड सीरीज़ से, तो एक चांस है मे बी कि वो चेंज हो जाए, लेकिन आप देखना होगा कि वो किसी जगह एक ही स्पॉट खाली नज़र आ सकता है कि भुवनेश्वर कुमार की जगह वो आ सकता है. तो आई थिंक चांसेस तो है, लेट्स सी क्या होता है. लेकिन आई थिंक जो न्यूज़ आ रही है कि हार्दिक पांड्या ने बॉलिंग वगैरह शुरू की है, तो आई थिंक इससे इंडियन जो बॉलिंग है उसमें काफ़ी एक तो डेप्थ आ जाएगी, क्योंकि अगर आप देखें ना तो लास्ट मैच में उनका जो स्ट्राइक बॉलर है बुमराह, उसके ओवर जो ना अर्ली ख़त्म किए, क्योंकि उनके पास कोई दूसरा ऐसा बॉलर नहीं था. वो जो है चक्रवर्ती, उसको भी इंट्रोड्यूस किया, लेकिन ये है कि उनके एंड के. लेकिन अगर जिस तरह मैंने कहा कि अगर वो बॉल करता है पांड्या, तो एटलीस्ट उनके पास ये चांस होगा कि आप जो ना उनके जो है चक्रवर्ती को आप अर्ली ऑन एज अ मिस्ट्री बॉलर आप यूज़ कर सकते हो, और लेटर ऑन डेप्थ आवर में जो ना आपके पास चांसेस है, विराट कोहली के पास चांस होंगे कि वो बुमराह को यूज़ कर सके. और जहाँ तक राशिद भाई ने बात की टॉस की, तो आई थिंक जिस तरह की कंडीशन है इस साल टीम बैटिंग सेकंड 14 आउट ऑफ 18 इन दुबई दिस ईयर. तो आई थिंक टॉस का भी बड़ा वो है एडवांटेज है कि टॉस जीत के ना वो बॉलिंग फर्स्ट करेंगे.
So there are two key points. One is that the matches are now very heavily dependent on toss, which should not be the matter in a World Cup event like World Cup. That's Rashid Bhai's point. And what Omar is saying, that because Hardik has been, there's a news that he's bowling in the nets again. So that will give Virat Kohli an extra option of using his bowlers a bit better.
Okay, just a quick question. I'm guessing, excuse me, I'm guessing that the pitch they're going to use today is likely to be the same pitch that they used for Australia against England. So that early greenness might have gone now, and certainly the second half of the game yesterday, it looked a very good pitch. So if that pitch is in good nick today, it could be at least a pitch for runs, for good runs, whether you bat first or second.
I think, look, what we so far seen Indian loss to Pakistan, it was like outstanding spell of new bowling by Shaheen Shah Afridi. If you take 2 wickets in one over, any team can go under intense pressure. The Indian worry should be their bowling. Apart from Bumrah, there is no big threat. Jadeja is not a bowler you should be worrying about what's coming and which way is gonna go. It's gonna go one way. Okay, he's using his experience. Otherwise, there is nothing there. Chakravarti is a bowler who can trouble, especially New Zealander. If you compare both batting, Indian batting is so far away, better than. They have like young mixture of players. Guptill, Williamson, Neesham, Conway. There's no like the impact batsmen in there, which the other team should look at. Oh my God, he's coming. Conway.
Maybe,
But-
yeah.
And New Zealand T20 team is not rocking. It's just a good team. In one days and test matches, they won the Test championship, but in T20 cricket, they're a good team, but not 1, 2, 3.
In this condition.
In these conditions, especially,
Yeah,
we
sure.
saw the other day Australians struggling against spin. So I think India is a far better team than New Zealand.
What about toss?
The toss, it all depends. I mean, look, Rohit Sharma, Rahul, Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Surya Kumar, Pandya,
Ishan Kishan.
Ishan
Really
Kishan,
playing today.
they have like a solid batting. The other day, which we saw, it's not happening every day.
Well, I mean, you're right.
But the
They-
New
yeah.
Zealander should use Bolt at the top. That same
Well,
memory, somebody is
if-
running
yeah.
in, bowling the same ball, so he'll be bit careful.
I am guessing that Kane Williamson would have had the same thought.
Should be.
Let's put it this way: if Kane has not had that thought, then someone else needs to take over the captaincy of New Zealand, because if they've got one memory in their minds, India, it is of those first few balls from Shaheen Shah Afridi.
You know,
which did all the
because
damage
against Pakistan, they started with Centenar and not with
not with Bolt, no,
not
you're
with
right,
Bolt.
no.
That's maybe.
In my opinion, when you look at maybe the bowling attack for New Zealand, I think they have individuals, who can really upset the top order for India. Having said that, if it's a good track, I personally believe India, with its substance, Rohit at the top of the order and KL Rahul, they're good players. When you look at the batters, comes Pant, I think he's a class act. Jadeja. When you look overall, in a sense, I think the Indian batting may just take the edge.
Indeed.
But
indeed.
one should never, ever,
Well-
for the years, what we have seen of New Zealand, should never, ever underrate New Zealand.
In terms of what India did in that first match, I mean, quite rightly, we remember that Pakistan put them in trouble straight away. So two of those very, very fine batsmen were out of the equation in the first over, pretty much. It left the pressure then on Virat Kohli, both as captain and as master batsman. to try and recover the situation.
Yes, and we talked about the pressure Virat Kohli is already under because he has given up the captaincy. This is after this tour. He has lost to Pakistan in Champions Trophy as a captain, so that's added pressure because not many Indian captains have done that. But even after this, he played an innings like that under pressure. So
And that shot, I can say, that shot early on was an indicator of of the impression he was trying to give Pakistan's bowlers.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, I mean 57 he made in the end.
He's totally a fighter, and you have to respect that. With the kind of player he is, how he thrives under pressure, I think that's one of his biggest qualities, and he has instilled a great amount of fitness and professionalism in this Indian cricket team.
I'm a fan of Virat Kohli. I've said that on numerous occasions. I believe he's still yet to get going, and because of his tenaciousness as well, I just believe that this individual, there's lots more to come before he gives up this captaincy, and he's looking to achieve things here at present. So at least when he hands it over, that it's in good hands.
Let's just have a look at this then, just to see where of those 57 runs, where they all came. Quite strong. I mean, he is strong, as we know. He's a strong all-round player, but strong on the onside on the day. I mean, the sixes, the 1-6, is it 1 or 2 sixes tends to be long on that sort of area.
Rashid bhai, कुछ आप बताएंगे इसमें?
इसका जो वीकर एरिया है ना, वो पॉइंट एरिया है, गली पॉइंट पे कम शॉट मारता है, जिसकी वजह से इसका स्ट्राइक रेट है T20 में वो निस्बतन कम है, स्ट्रगल करता है कभी कभार जब नहीं आता है. ये भी डिपेंड करता है उसके ऊपर रोहित शर्मा, KL राहुल पे, कि अच्छी पार्टनरशिप लगती है, 5-6 ओवर गुजर जाते हैं तो फिर ये डेंजरस हो जाता है. अर्ली ऑन जैसे पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ आ गया तो उसको सर्वाइव करना पड़ता है सर्कल. जो 6 ओवर अगर सर्वाइव करेगा तो मैच हाथ से निकलता जाता है. एक्सक्यूज मी. तो ये एक वजह है जो कि इसको एक सपोर्ट चाहिए ऊपर से, चाहे वो उसकी सूरत में हो, KL राहुल की सूरत में हो या रोहित शर्मा. इन दोनों का तीनों का परफॉर्म करना इंडिया के लिए ज़रूरी है. अगर हम देखें 70% इंडिया जब जीतता है जब ये तीनों परफॉर्म करते हैं, 1, 2, 3, चाहे वो ODI हो चाहे वो T20 हो. तो इंडिया पूरी डिपेंड करती है वाइट बॉल क्रिकेट में 3 प्लेयर्स पे, विराट कोहली, KL राहुल एंड रोहित शर्मा.
अच्छा, एक और चीज़ जो मैं I want to mention, aura of a player, like, you know, we mixed up IPL into international cricket. Indian performance in international level is not that great, isn't it? Last two champions are West Indians. Then even now they're number 3 in T20. So we just mixed up the aura of PSL. Oh God, Rahul, KL Rahul is great. He's there, but he's not that there. Surya Kumar, Jadeja.
Just to be clear.
Jadeja.
Just to be clear. Hang on. Where is he? Is he here? Is he here? Is he?
But he's not number one. He's not Babar Azam. He's not Babar Azam.
Okay.
So if you talk to anyone, it's, oh God, they are great players like Rishabh Pant and Rahul and Surya Kumar and Jadeja. They are good players, but they are not superstars.
Okay.
It's more of a hype than the reality.
No, good point. Where's Rohit? Is Rohit here or is he where?
Rohit is there.
He's
Rohit and Kohli are true superstars.
Yeah.
Others are just good players.
Impact players.
But out because most of the time we watch IPL because they made us watch IPL.
Are you allowed to watch IPL?
I don't want to watch IPL. I want to see PSL because PSL is a true test of a batsman. It's when you play in India, it's a paradise. Like this, anybody can bat. What happened this time?
I'm going to come out of retirement.
Yes, you can. You can still be a very effective batsman in India. So what happened this time? IPL in UAE, what is the average score? 135, 134. The PSL conditions, bowlers, fast bowlers are the number 1 in the world.
You reckon PSL?
Yes, the fast bowling.
Yeah, I think
fast bowling.
You have some very good, talented individuals,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And the pitches are challenging. Why everyone is struggling? Why the top teams are making
you mentioned pitches,
135?
So you can say Rohit and Virat, they are the true match winners.
And that's all you need. and you have the support cast. What else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you have too many superstars, too many chefs in the kitchen, sometimes
You
you're
need a
gonna
very,
get
very big pot.
pot,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, leave it there for a moment. Let's keep the passion going. I love this passion. Just remember, there are 2 games going on today. One of them is happening in just under an hour's time, 50 minutes' time. So let's go to Abu Dhabi for the pitch report. Welcome back to Game on Hay. 2 games again today. The first between Afghanistan and Namibia, and the toss for that will be coming up in just over 5 or 6 minutes' time now. So we'll get to that at the time. Let's just consider the game again just for a few minutes before they get to that toss. And first of all, of course, it seems that the key decision at the toss will be probably to bowl first, except that Afghanistan quite like batting first.
I think it's daytime, so that make no difference, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
But the other day, I mean, look, they against Pakistan, they have made a mistake. Why would you take a chance of you coming in and you got 3 good spinners? You need a surface which is dry, isn't it? Every spinner. So I was surprised when they.
Except for Rashid Khan.
He
I've heard him in his interviews that I like it better when the dew is there. Yeah.
There is
I mean,
only one
that was a surprise
possibility.
for
I
me.
think there is only one possibility. The ball might be gripped in the first like couple of hours, 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
It's daytime.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, but we are talking about. I mean, I think it's unique, and that comment that I enjoy more
Yeah, it is unique.
bowling when it's dew on as a spinner.
That's why he's so good.
That's what we don't know.
Well, this is like Formula One, where they have to adapt the tyres to wet weather, to dry weather, to the track, and all the rest of it. And different bowlers, different drivers prefer different tyres.
That's why the guy is a class act, because everyone else, he thinks differently. Because everyone wants to make sure that they have a good grip on the ball. I'm not sure. For him to come up with such a suggestion that he enjoys bowling with
The dew on.
Because he loves to hurry up the batsman or batter also, so he skids it through. So I think that might be the reason.
Could be.
That can be one reason.
Maybe someone who knows about that little stuff.
So I'll meet him and I'll ask him exactly the details.
Yeah.
And please later pass to sir.
जिनको गोद में पाला होता है उनके दांत नहीं गिने जाते, तो ये चेजिंग में बहुत ये घबरा जाते हैं बहुत ज़्यादा, तो इसलिए ये कोशिश करते हैं क्या
बड़ा जबरदस्त आपने
जुमला
मिसाल दिया
जुमला इनसे लिया मैंने। चेजिंग में इनको इश्यूज हैं, जब हम भी होते थे, नबी हो जाए या नौरोज मंगल हमारे कैप्टन होते थे, हम लोग डिसाइड करते थे फर्स्ट बैटिंग।
अभी तक वो मसले चल रहे हैं,
क्योंकि एक हिस्ट्री होती है आपकी बैटिंग, सोचने का तरीका, ये लड़ जाएंगे। स्पिरिट इस टीम की क्या खास बात क्या है, टीम स्पिरिट बहुत हाई होती है। आपने देखें सारी टीम को देखें, लेकिन अफगानिस्तान आपको डिफरेंट नज़र आती है। राशिद खान का एटीट्यूड देखें आप, किसी भी प्लेयर का देखें, गुरबाज का देखें या शहजाद का देखें, एटीट्यूड देखें ग्राउंड के अंदर, डिफरेंटली एक्ट करते हैं ये क्रिकेट के अंदर। तो इनको थोड़ा सा भी बैटिंग में थोड़ा सेंस लेके आना है, तो ये मज़ीद बेहतर टीम हो सकती है। ये चेजिंग में अगर आ जाते हैं, ये दुनिया के बड़ी टीम को हरा सकती है।
Here's a point that they prefer setting the target because they are weak in chasing, and until they become really good at chasing, I mean, once they do that, then they can definitely upset even more teams if they can have the sense.
Upsetting.
But but then the only way to get good at it is to do it.
Yes.
Is to get used to doing it. And in a sense, I mean, let's look at this particular game, and this is a great chance, because if the spinners who destroyed Scotland were to destroy Namibia, actually, it doesn't become much of a chase then. But at least if you have a sort of normal sort of game, and the target you're chasing is not enormous, because you've got good enough bowlers to keep it down, then you can actually have a go at saying, right, we need to get, say, 140, relatively easy, standard stuff, and let's just go and do it.
Can I put a little bit in here? If you do not enjoy whatever you speak about the fact that they like to bat first. There's sometimes if you need to express yourself on a much wider basis, there's a lot of things that you have to do in order for you to become a good team. And you cannot just have one dimension or look at it in that particular way. You've got to experience all the various sides where you think you can win. And I think as they move forward, this is where they may have to find themselves in new avenues in order for them to start maybe upsetting some of the bigger teams.
And I mean, you're absolutely right. You've got to do it to get used to it and to practice it. And if you've got someone like Zazai at the top of the order, I don't think it makes an awful lot of difference to him what time of day it is, where he's playing, who he's playing against. He just goes and plays. He's a very, very natural player.
Same goes with Shehzad.
Yeah, well, the two of them.
They don't care.
Unless it's lunchtime.
I'm glad you said that. Because
and he's very consistent with
because if it's lunchtime, he might want to come back early.
He's quite consistent with it.
Yeah.
or maybe in the evening games, dinner time. But they could. I'm sure they could chase if need be. They could.
I think they got to get accustomed to that at some point, because they ain't going to have it their way every time winning the toss, where they'll be able to make the decisions. If you want to become a good team, you've got to tackle all sides of the coin, making sure that you cover all your areas, and you cannot be a successful team one dimension only.
और सर विविध जो बात कर रहे हैं कि अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर निकलें, सिर्फ अगर आपको बैटिंग ही करनी अच्छी लगती है वही ना करें, एज ए टीम एज ए प्लेयर कितना ज़रूरी है अपने कंफर्ट जोन से बाहर निकल के तैयारी करना?
देखिए ऑब्वियसली आप जिस तरह उन्होंने कहा कि सरफेस अब जो वेन्यू है वो भी चेंज हो गया, तो कंफर्ट जोन में आप कभी भी नहीं, ऐसे इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में हर दिन नया होता है। बिल्कुल एज अ टीम खेलना होगा, जिस तरह लाइक लास्ट मैच में जो ना आपको स्पिरिट नज़र आ रही थी कि वो एक ही बंदा था, वो जो हम फिटनेस पे बात कर रहे हैं, वो फिर के गुरबाज हर तरफ दौड़ रहा था। तो आई थिंक एज अ टीम अगर अब ये लोग इनमें कैपेबिलिटी है कि वो अपसेट कर सकते, लेकिन एज अ टीम खेलना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इनके लिए।
ऐसे मौके पे इनको टीम पिक करनी पड़ेगी, लाइक जैसे नमीबिया से मैच है, सेकंड बैटिंग करनी चाहिए इनको, स्कॉटलैंड से बैट किसी से भी हो ना, लेकिन अगेंस्ट न्यूजीलैंड खेलते हैं तो फिर डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा स्ट्रॉन्ग क्या है, स्ट्रेंथ क्या है। स्ट्रेंथ इनकी बॉलिंग है तो कर सकते हैं, लेकिन आपको इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट हर मंथ में खेलनी है तो अपने प्लान करना पड़ेगा, स्ट्रेटजीज करनी पड़ेंगी कि हम किसके खिलाफ चेज करने जाएंगे कि हम अपने आप में बेहतरी लेके आएँ। लेकिन हर जगह वन मेथड होगा, जैसे सर ने कहा, वो नहीं चलेगा। वो फिर सारी टीमें आपको पिक कर लेंगी कि ये टीम किस प्लान से आ रही है, वो इनके लिए मुश्किल हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। Yes, so they also agree. I mean, one-dimensional cricket will never help them grow. So it's going to be important, and this is the game where they have the luxury to try something new, because in the next matches they would want to stick to their strengths.
Well, what do you think is Namibia's best chances?
I think they did bowl well in the last match and put pressure on the opposition, so they might still want to bowl first.
The trump card
The
that
trump
is
card.
Trumple Man.
Trumple Man.
Hey, that's a name. That's a name that sounds very powerful. Like he's gonna walk over someone. You know, he's a big, strong lad as well, and he's done well. He's got the ball in right areas. What I believe is his strong point. It's not just one dimension.
Matter. We made that point. It doesn't matter when you hit the ball like Zazai. It goes a long way. Right. Quick question for you. Ruben Trumpelman, born. You've got a choice of two: Windhoek or Durban.
Windhoek.
Wrong.
South African, huh?
Yeah, but a very good import.
Okay.
Very handy import. There you are. See, we've won one question there.
So I think you'll have all the birth certificates of these players by the end of the. But we'll come back to that, because अब हम जा रहे हैं टॉस के लिए। हम जिस मैच के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, अब जाते हैं टॉस पे।
The top of the order in Zazai and Shehzad. A very strong top three with Ramanullah Gurbaz coming at number 3. Afghan he's retiring at the end of this game, so let's wish him well. Let's wish him well after a long career, successful career overall, and hope that his day today is a good day. But the final change, the one change we need to look at, it comes at number 11, Hamid Hassan. So a seam bowler, a pace bowler, and Akib tells me he was once very, very quick indeed, but he's lost a little bit of pace now. He's coming in to replace the spinner, so that is the change. For Namibia, well, these are not necessarily household names unless you live in Namibia. And they're captained by Gerrit Erasmus at number 4. David Wiese is their star player who's come up from South Africa, played a lot of franchise cricket over the years and has starred in this T20 World Cup over the last couple of weeks. And Ruben Trumpelman, who is the man who started that game against Scotland so dramatically. He looked a real find, a really good talent with that very good left arm pace. So those are possibly the star players in that Namibia 11. And as we say, it is Afghanistan who have decided yet again to bat first.
And no surprises there. Rashid bhai, जैसे आप कह रहे थे पहले बारी करेंगे उन्होंने
चेंज करना चाहिए था, लेकिन खुशी हुई देख के हामिद हसन को। और ये वो प्लेयर हैं जो कि पहले हीरो अफगानिस्तान का कहें तो यही हैं। डोमिनेट किया 68 मेंबर्स के ऊपर इन्होंने, जो लेवल 5, 4, 3, 2 इस तरह से जब आप आते हैं खेलने के लिए आईसीसी की क्वालिफिकेशन में, इनका बड़ा रोल रहा। तकरीबन 70% ये इंसान थे जिनकी होर्डिंग पूरे अफगानिस्तान में लगती थी, और जाके मोबाइल कंपनीज हों या कोई भी हो, तो ये स्टार आप समझ सकते हैं। दुबई में इनका जो साइड स्क्रीन थे उसके बाद जाके टकराए तो दोनों नीज इनके रह गए थे, और ये फिर उसके बाद कमेंट्री में आ गए थे। वर्ल्ड कप में आते हैं, थोड़े अरसे के लिए खेलते हैं, लेकिन दोबारा कमेंट्री करते हैं या एक्सपर्ट बने। ये बहुत अच्छे बॉलर थे, जैसे आकिब ने कहा, इस रीजन के इवन पाकिस्तान को मिला के भी ये बहुत ही अच्छा इनका एक रेपुटेशन रही है। बाकी आकिब और इन्होंने भी देखा हुआ है, उनके बारे में बात कर सकते हैं ये दोनों।
तो आपको लगता है कि जो एक फास्ट बॉलर मिसिंग हम कह रहे हैं अफगानिस्तान के लाइनअप में, अभी हामिद इतने, अब मैच की बात तो देखेंगे, अभी भी उनके अंदर वो चीज़ मौजूद है? आपने लेटेस्ट कुछ देखा है उनको बॉलिंग करते?
अब देखिए, बड़ा मुश्किल होता है स्पेशली फास्ट बॉलर के लिए कि जो आपके पीक टाइम पे आप इंजर्ड हो जाते हो और फिर 4-5 साल के लिए आप बाहर जाते हो, तो आपको ऑब्वियसली वो एज फैक्टर भी हो जाता है, आपकी वो परफॉर्मेंस नहीं होती, आपकी वो एनर्जी नहीं होती, वो एजिलिटी नहीं होती। स्पेशली एक फास्ट बॉलर के अगर बैक और नीज उड़ जाए तो ये इसके बाद कम बैक करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है। आई थिंक वो सिर्फ उसकी जो पास्ट की रेपुटेशन है, और उनके पास कोई ऐसा जेन्युइन पेस बॉलर नहीं है। ये वापस आया था 2019 के वर्ल्ड कप में, 4-5 साल के बाद स्टिल वो कर रहा था, वो टच कर रहा था 140 पे। आई थिंक अभी इनके पास रिसेंटली इतने पेस का कोई बॉलर नहीं था, तो उनकी मजबूरी थी उसको वापस लेके आए। लेकिन स्टिल होप फॉर द बेस्ट के आई होप कि वो मुजीब के ना होते हुए कुछ अच्छा करे, और आई थिंक अ बिट रिलीफ फॉर नामीबिया मुजीब के ना होने से।
सगुली, ये you know, he started even before you. You must be 40 or something. That Hamid.
He used to play with me in my club.
So you get the next World Cup, you want to go back after doing expert?
I wish, lekin abhi it's too late.
I think you should move to Afghanistan and become their David Visa. Just wait next T20 World Cup.
So you can become born again. That's probably that's the way it works.
You can say.
Okay, well, that game will start in 15 minutes' time or so. Don't forget the second game today, India taking on New Zealand. We've had a little bit of a look at Virat Kohli and his strengths in that first game. Obviously, Virat Kohli desperately needs to win a game now to keep his side's chances alive. Equally so, New Zealand, India, is very much a key game for both teams. In terms of India's batting, Rishabh Pant was the only other batsman the other day against Pakistan who looked to be in some sort of form. He got 39 to Virat's 57. So, yeah, he's a key man. Again, he's one of these players, can be an impact player, can be a reliable player. I just get the feeling actually that Pant's gone a little bit off the boil though.
The other day he doesn't bother to use his two hands. One was enough. You know, Hassan Ali deceived him in the air. Ball still goes in the stands.
What I think, what I know is that he follows through. And if you notice, he's a power pack guy. He's a strong fella.
Yeah. These two teams, you know, two quality teams up against each other.
Yes, of course. कुछ गर्मा गर्मी चल रही है पहले ही इन दोनों टीम्स के दरमियान, वो हमने देखा है कुछ दिया। ये ट्रेंट बोल्ट का स्टेटमेंट आया और विराट कोहली ने भी इसके ऊपर जवाब दिया है, इमिलिएट शाहीन, वी आर मोटिवेटेड टू काउंटर हिम। तो अभी से पहले से
दोनों की काफ़ी अभी वर्ल्ड कप जो बाहर किया, न्यूजीलैंड ने किया ना इनको, तो सेमीफाइनल में ओल्ड ट्रैफर्ड पे, तो इनकी आपस में बहुत ज़्यादा मैचेस भी होते हैं और अपर हैंड हमेशा इंडिया का रहा है। और अगर आज के मैच की तो बहुत शो के लिए आज जो व्यूवरशिप की हमने बात की, 50% व्यूवरशिप खत्म हो जाएगी। जिस तरह 2007 में पाकिस्तान इंडिया बाहर हो गए थे, याद होगा वेस्ट इंडीज में, तो वर्ल्ड कप खत्म हो गया। उसके बाद आईसीसी ने मैच, ये सारी सूरत हाल देखते हुए लगता है कि इंडिया हारेगा नहीं। अगर
ये सारे 4 साल 5 साल इंडियंस and Pakistani, they don't want to meet each other, but definitely during the World Cup in cricket, they wanted to see
twice.
उसमें जब एक ही पूल में दोनों टीम्स आ जाती हैं तो फॉर्मेट ऐसा है वर्ल्ड कप का कि एक दफ़ा ये पूल में मिल सकते हैं, और क्योंकि क्रॉस सेमीफाइनल्स में चली जाती हैं टीम्स, तो दूसरा चांस होता है कि फाइनल में मिला जाए। तो इसके ऊपर
बेनिफिट आईसीसी उठा रहा है। अगर हम दोनों आपस में बायलैटरल सीरीज नहीं खेलते तो बेनिफिट कौन हो रहा है? आईसीसी हो रहा है। हम आपस में खेलते रहेंगे, पाकिस्तान की टीम इंडिया जाए, इंडिया की टीम पाकिस्तान आए, तो लेकिन ये दोनों नहीं खेलते तो बेनिफिशियरी थर्ड पार्टी हो गई, वो आईसीसी हो गई है। यहाँ पे आप चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी देखें, पाकिस्तान और इंडिया दो पाकिस्तान इंडिया पे होती हैं, और इसमें भी यकीन से नहीं कहा जाता, लेकिन आज अगर जीते हैं ये लोग तो बहुत ज़्यादा चांसेस 70% है कि पाकिस्तान इंडिया फाइनल खेलती है। उसमें फिर रेवेन्यू देखें, ब्रॉडकास्टर का देखें, पूरी दुनिया का देखें, तो वो आसमान से बातें करने लगता है। और इसी तरह से क्रिकेट परवान चढ़ रही है। आईसीसी के क्लेवर हैं ये लोग बहुत, कि इंडिया पाकिस्तान को इंगेज रखते हैं। इंडिया नहीं हो या पाकिस्तान नहीं हो तो इसको इस सब कॉन्टिनेंट में देखने वाले बहुत कम लोग मिलेंगे।
David, they have already planned and planning India-Pakistan final. You happy man, England, you're writing off.
Okay, so what, for the next 2 weeks we can just go and swim and play tennis, and Vivi can play golf, and we pitch up on, what is it, November the 14th for the final. Welcome to
so they are saying India is going to beat England in the semi-final if India wins today. That's what they are saying. How do you feel about? How do you feel about
can
that?
I say you know, to speak opinion, I will be wearing, or whether England's carry on the form they carry, they showed us. So a good one. You know,
Which England blue?
Sort of stuff. It's nice to have these sort of talk, but then you've got to execute.
Yeah.
That's the most important, and I'm looking for the execution. Impressive when this match finishes.
Can I say, just going back to India and England, you know, the two sides in blue, obviously a lovely colour. I mean, blue suits me entirely. Lovely colour blue. When you talk about the word execute, it has two meanings. What the other team?
So what's going to happen?
Behead the team.
To behead anyone.
Okay, let's tone it down to win.
Tone it down.
You've shown faith in your team. I'm going to show faith in my team.
Nothing's wrong with that.
These guys have definitely shown faith in their team.
This all the beheading is because he's been losing on Hangman, the game Hangman.
Oh.
You're giving away secrets.
Oh, like
Hang on. No, if we're talking about choking, there are other sides who've done that in World Cups before. So Afghanistan, Namibia. Afghanistan batting first. The big game.
क्या thoughts हैं इसके ऊपर?
आई थिंक अर्ली ऑन जिस तरह हमने कहा था, चांसेस तो है अफगानिस्तान के, और वो कॉन्फिडेंट है कि फर्ज नहीं है।
और आज रन रेट, मतलब अगर अफगानिस्तान आगे जाता है, ऑफ कोर्स आगे इंडिया और न्यूजीलैंड से मैचेस हैं, आज वो रन रेट को भी कितना दिमाग में रखेंगे आपको लगता है नामीबिया के अगेंस्ट? ये जो पहले
आगे अगर हम चांसेस बनते हैं तो ऑब्वियसली उनके माइंड में होकर रन रेट पे, लेकिन फर्स्ट उनके प्रायोरिटी यही हो कि लेट्स विन दिस मैच एंड देन लेटर ऑन।
Yeah, I think the batting first, what Afghanistan three somewhere in that table.
The obvious reasons. Then it's India and New Zealand, but never guaranteed. The thing is that we obviously won, and 8 depends who wins today between New Zealand and India. Even if they have a surprise, another surprise later on, it's because of your quality of it.
And today, I'm back in Afghanistan.
Yeah, you've really gone out on a limb there, haven't you?
Yeah.
So so against the team that's qualified from nowhere, the
Well,
great
apart
story
from
about Namibia.
Erasmus talk about the fact that they're not interplaying names a lot of class, and I think they'll be too classy for
Well,
Namibia.
If they don't like playing names, they can play that guy, the other guy.
The other guy.
What's his name? Who's in the flick? Yeah, the one that we know but we can't remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can.
And then India, New Zealand, because
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
going to
that's the
support
one.
New Zealand because, as Rashid mentioned, because they don't play bilateral series, India and Pakistan with us. So this, when you play in ICC tournaments, the money goes to ICC. So that's why I'm not going to support it. It has to be New
Hello,
Zealand.
Rakib.
And why not?
Well, you're making a very
I have
strong
all the
point.
reasons to
Yeah.
support New Zealand, isn't it?
And there is one more reason. There is a big chance for Afghanistan. They have the advantage to beat New Zealand.
Yes.
And India.
Ah.
And
I'm going to back India. They are also in blue.
that's why you're wearing the blue.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some interest in India as well, so I've got some
You gotta look,
sentimental,
yes.
sentimental reasons why.
We know that.
He's got more reason to support India.
A couple of reasons.
A couple of reasons.
Sana, can you just reassure me? This very, very august panel, I thought was meant to be discussing matters purely on cricketing terms, but there's emotion, there's patriotism, there's the fact that
passion.
Viv had a girlfriend in India once.
So what's
there's nothing serious. We're getting distracted here.
Yeah. And this is the man who is going to bring us back
Okay,
from
come
all
on,
the
come on.
distractions.
लास्ट चीज ये है कि अफगानिस्तान को अगर मुजीब नहीं खेल रहे थे आज तो बैटिंग सेकंड करनी चाहिए थी 140 तक ये चेस कर सकते हैं नबीबिया की टीम क्योंकि वो डिफरेंट है नबी और राशिद खान इतने रन बचा लेंगे ये मुझे मुश्किल लगता है क्यों गुल्लू
काफी इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है ये।
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं।
Teams like associates, I think Mujib is more threat than Rashid and Nabi. Nabi is manageable
इन पावर प्ले
in power play. So I think without
Mujib.
that guy, Namibia can upset them because
Yes.
they have David Wiese.
Yeah.
I think now
रेसमस
this mess. It's going to be
शिमिट
a good game, not the other day which we saw against Afghanistan, Scotland.
और देखते हैं कि क्या ये गेम इतना